year for they say it's a good year for defensive lineman draft. You've been in this league for a long time. What do you think? Just
Yeah,
curious.
just definitely a deeper class. So years past, after the top two or three guys that dropped off drastically, this year fairly deep in the interior and on the edge. So excited about it. So it's fun evaluating these guys.
Zach has talked quite a bit about going up against you and your time in Green Bay,
hmm
and then last year with New England. How much did you know Zach?
I didn't know Zach, so phone call happened out of the blue. Actually had some other things going, and kind of was shocked to get the phone call. But great organization, great team. You got players in place. You got a quarterback. So I was excited about the phone call, and but yeah, we had some battles. So
What makes a good defensive line in your estimation?
ultimately, it's what do you want to do defensively, and I don't care what it is you do, you got to get those guys to play within that system. And so to me, whoever we have, we're going to get them to buy into what we do and get them to play at a high level. So, yeah, you can have first round draft picks that are great players, and you can have guys that are undrafted, rookie free agents that end up panning out to be good players. So it's just what you can get them to do.
What has been your evaluation of McKinley Jackson, Chris Jenkins, and Miles Humphrey?
Yeah, again, all good players, players that look forward to, I look forward to developing and being a part of, but just, you got some good prospects to work with.
How would you classify maybe like your coaching philosophy, or maybe are there a few important principles that you like to really install with your guys?
Yeah, at the end of the day, right, technique and fundamentals, toughness, and play style. Like, it doesn't take talent to do any one of those three things. So, like, you can have a talented guy that doesn't play with those effort, technique, and fundamentals and the right mindset and can be an average player. And you can play with a guy that has less talent that buys into those things that can be a heck of a player. Or you can have a super talented guy play with those values and be a great player. So I've had a range of guys that have bought into it that have been very successful and played a high level. So
What stood out to you about Al Golden's approach and how he handles that role?
yeah, Al's been phenomenal. So super intelligent, knows exactly what he wants. There's no gray. So just excited to be a part of that. And there's some non-negotiables, how he wants things, and then some things that, he'll give you some leeway to get done the way you want to get done. But for the most part, you always know where you stand. And yeah, so I really like it. Been awesome with him and the staff so far.
Did you watch it? Maybe you watched the national championship. You watched much Notre Dame this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched some clips, but more importantly, like, I mean, what he did when he was here as a backer coach, how his guys played, his history when he was in Detroit, when he had the edge guys. You always go back and you look at a guy's room or, overall a defense that he's had, and you kind of can tell what type of coach and what type of person, that is.
Do you have any prerequisites for traits when you're looking for a prospect? Like, is there a certain amount an edge has to weigh or stand?
Yeah. All that stuff is great, right? And you want bigger, faster, stronger. But if the film doesn't match it, to me, the biggest evaluation is, what does the film look like? Is the kid a productive player in college? And does he make plays in colleges? Does he play hard? All right. So to me, like, at the end of the day, film, it overrides all of that. You can have a guy that looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane, and you can have a guy that looks like he belongs on the street but is a hell of a football player. So I played with guys like Bob Sanders, right? Undersized, that was the defensive MVP in the NFL because he was a football player, not because he was 6'7", 300. You know what I mean? So, like, all that is great, but, like, and you don't want to get a ton of small guys, right? But, like, I want a football player that knows how to play the game.
So you can play, like an edge, can you have a 245-pound edge in the north?
I mean, to me, like, we'll have some positions that guys that probably can play, 240 is getting light. I mean, you're talking linebacker. But for us on the edge, I mean, you want to be a little bit bigger than 240. It doesn't mean that you can't play it, especially if you play nasty, tough, and physical. You can get away with those things.
With Miles Murphy, Duke had talked about the next step for him being getting off finishing. So some of these pass rushes and to get some of those sacks he hasn't been able to get. How hard is that to teach, a player to add that finishing move, add something like that? Does it have to be natural, or can it be as simple as a technique thing that can really help a guy click?
You think about it, one of the most undercoached things in the game of football is being able to finish on the quarterback. Why? Because you can never touch the guy in practice. So you never get the opportunity. You can practice tackling and all that, but to finish on a quarterback is something you have to work on every single day at practice. Every time you work rush, you got to work on finishing to the quarterback. And so I think that's something that can be coached. And so we'll do that. Everything we do from a pass rush standpoint will work on finishing on a quarterback. Now, it won't be a live quarterback, but we'll work some things to help get that done, because we'll never get to touch, Joe Burrow in a practice ever, right? If you do, you're probably getting fired, right? So you just think about that. It's like one of the most undercoached things in the NFL, or in football in general, is finishing on a quarterback. So it's not easy, and some guys have a natural knack for it, and we'll just develop him and get him, where he's able to do that.
When you look at the idea of building depth, do you like backing someone up, someone who does A, backing him up with someone who can also do A? Or would you like, when you build depth, you have a guy, then maybe you have a backup who's a change of pace, different skill set, different body type?
Yeah. To me, I want to build depth, and I'll talk to the guys like this. We're only as good as our weakest link. So we want to get our fifth guy in the room and our sixth guy in the room, all right, our seventh guy in the room, up to par. So when we do sub a guy out, there's not a drop-off. He might have different tools and play styles, but he's going to play within the defense the way that we need him to. But he might be able to be a better inside rusher than he is an edge rusher. He might be able to play the run better than the guy that's the edge, right? So, we take all shapes and sizes, and building depth is the most important thing. So it doesn't matter if he's different than the guy in front of him.
Do you move guys around the line a lot? Or
Like that's going to be, what Al wants, right? So we'll get to that. But, if you got versatility, you give us versatility. So if you can play on the edge and play inside, that's great. If you can play inside and then play on the edge, that helps us to be able to do more things. So, but that'll be something that Coach Al will decide what we want to do.
How much have you talked with Miles and Chris Jenkins, McKinley Jackson, the young defensive line?
I've had some conversations with some of those guys. I have not spoken to all of them. So that's something that, with as busy as we've been, I'll get a chance to do. Some guys are in the building, so I've had a chance to speak with some of those guys. So I haven't spoken to all those guys.
And you mentioned the how they not necessarily measure themselves, and that is, how important is this evaluation during this week at the combine for that, getting to know these guys?
Yeah, it's not just this week. We're going to be evaluating these guys throughout the process. Combine, how they process, how they handle learning, how they can, you give them something, if they can spit it back to you. All of those things play into it. And then the film is important, and we're going to go see them, how they work at the pro days and things like that. So it's a long process, and then by the end of it, hopefully we get it right.
Because you saw Miles coming out from it. I just looked at him.
Miles was elite coming out. So,
Anything that struck you about him from that?
no, I love his size. I love his ability. So I'm excited to work with him. So definitely look forward to that, and feel like he's a great one to be able to get my hands on and develop.
What makes a good run-stopping defensive line?
Defensive line or individual?
The whole unit.
Plain as one. All right, you talk about stopping the run. You got to puzzle. You got to fit the pieces, and so everybody's got to do their job. And then when somebody makes a mistake, you hope that somebody's there that they've whooped the guy across from them, that they can help that guy with his mistake. But at the end of the day, it's about fitting a puzzle. Everybody's got a job. Everybody's got to do their one of 11.